Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Rangers Review Team News Reaction video live from Dens Park, where Rangers will take on Dundee this evening in the Scottish Premiership, a must-win game, and Chris is there for us. Firstly, Chris, how was your journey up the road?
It was not too bad. The traffic was okay. A wee bit of rain when about Kinross, but nothing that was going to cause any pitch issues, thankfully. And it's nice and sunny. A wee bit chilly, but all good. So a nice night for a game, and hopefully it's a nice night for 3 points on the road.
Do you get looked after up at Dens? Do you get press food at all, or do you get something on the way?
I stopped for something on the way. There is vouchers for pies and a cup of tea as well. Some of the members of the press have taken advantage of that particular act of kindness already. Others are keeping their powder dry and holding on to their voucher for half time. I've not decided where I'm going to cash mine in just yet, but it's a bit tight once you're in this back row here. It's a bit tight to get back out, so I may just have to donate mine to someone else or ask them to go and get it for me.
I always cash mine in before kick-off. If you go at half-time, then you're facing queues aplenty. So that is my advice. But whether you can get out of that tight press box, it remains to be seen. But anyway, people are tuning in because the Rangers team has dropped. Here it is. Rangers, a few interesting changes that the manager has made. So he's gone with Butland in goal, a back four of Tavernier, Goldson, Suter and Dujon Sterling. Lawrence and Lundstrom in the middle with Cantwell in that number 10 role. Fabio Silva and Abdallah Sima either side of Kemar Roof, who comes in to start the game, which is an interesting call from the manager. You can see the team on the ticker down below. On the bench for Rangers this evening, McCrory, Dessers, Matondo, Dowell, Davis, Barisic, King, Raskin and McCausland. Your initial reaction to the team, Chris?
Out of all the team predictions that we've done over the course of this season, Derek, I don't think we've had Kemar in any of the starting ones. I didn't expect to see him get a nod tonight, but I think it's a case of the manager just trying to find something different, trying to find that spark in the final third. Sterling in at left back, I'm pleased with. That's something we spoke about in the show this morning. I tipped Tom Lawrence to come into the middle of the pitch and instead of Kieran Dowell. Also, Diomande still being out, it's a huge blow. So there's a lot to like in that side, but for me, it's all about it's a mentality thing tonight. Now, do Rangers come here to start on the front foot, as we said this morning, to try and take the game to Dundee and try and build that ascendancy early on. You can't allow Dundee to get a foothold in this one tonight. So I think it's an attack-minded side from Rangers. And time will tell if it was a winning one or not.
Yep, a few surprises for me. I can understand why Dujon Sterling has come in for Borna at left back. I wanted him in midfield, I've got to be honest, but anyone ahead of Borna, I think, would be the best option, and Dujon has got the nod. Goldson's in there, of course. Leon Balogun, the manager, did say that he was suffering from a bout of sickness in the past few days, so it will be the Goldson-Suter partnership. I just hope they have a better performance than we witnessed at Dingwall a few days ago. It's a big night for Fabio Silva for me, Chris. I remain to be convinced. We've seen flashes of his quality in games, and this is, as you said, it's a real test of character, mentality and bottle tonight. I want to see more from him, and just why Rangers brought him in from Wolves in January. We need a big performance from Fabio tonight.
We do. I think we need more cutting edge from him. We need a clinical edge from him as well. I think you can't say that he's not a talented player. You can't say there's not a real natural ability there, but it's whether he's offering enough. I think from that left-hand side, there have been some good performances in there. But I think over the last couple of weeks, certainly, I don't think it's great in the Old Firm game. Didn't really contribute that much against Ross County on Sunday. So I think it's a big night for him. I say Rangers need to see something special from him.
Yeah, absolutely. Abdallah Sima, I like that he starts once again. He's a big threat for Rangers. I think he was one of very few players who got pass marks at the weekend. Todd Cantwell will be influential tonight. He'll be a big player for Rangers. Let's hope he's on top of his game. Do worry about Lundstrom in there, Chris. We've touched on it in videos before. He's just looked leggy in the last few weeks. He's out of form, as a number of players, of course, struggling for form But that midfield, Tom Lawrence coming back in, it's a big chance for him. He had a very disappointing Old Firm game for me. Came on Sunday, didn't really influence the game as much as I would have liked. But there's a few comments coming in. There's one that popped up saying it looks very experimental. Would you go along with that?
Certainly, in terms of Roof being the striker, that's also something that we've not seen that often this season. Certainly not from the start. I think it's back to not long after the cup final game at Ibrox against Kelly, maybe. That was Roof's last start. So that, I think that just shows the manager he's just looking for something different. He's just looking for that spark in the middle of the final third. I don't think the side overall is that experimental. Also, Lundstrom and Lawrence as a midfield too has played well at times, hasn't been great at other times. But you look at the other midfield options. Sterling also has to fill in at left back. Raskin was someone that we spoke about on the show this morning, not been in great form over the course of the season. So I don't think it's that Lawrence comes in into area of the side. Really interesting on the back of Josh's piece, talking about the midfield this morning, the way that Rangers have been countered against, the way that Rangers press. The manager mentioned that at his press conference yesterday. I think there's a lot of Tom Lawrence is in the side mainly for his attacking prowess. We know he can get forward, he can get beyond. We know he likes a shot from distance. I think if you look at Josh's piece this morning, and in terms of how Rangers defend, how they go against teams that are trying to catch one in the break, the midfield too just has such a huge role play in regard. Lundstrom, I think, didn't have a great game on Sunday. You can pinpoint a couple of mistakes in his game. Defensively, he has to be on it. He can't allow Dundee to build a momentum. He can't allow Dundee to have any kind of attacking phases. So Lundstrom and Lawrence, yes, they're going to have to get the ball and try and be forward thinking and try and be progressive with it. But defensively, I think they've got a huge role to play just to give Rangers that foundation in the middle of the pitch.
Yep, good that the tannoy's blaring out the tunes as well in the background, so atmosphere well and truly building at Dens. There's a question that came in, Chris. Stay in the Life says, how is the pitch looking?
It's looking green in the middle. It's looking sandy at the left-hand side and slightly less sandy at the right-hand side. A couple of patches, but overall it actually looks okay. It doesn't look as bad as I feared. It's obviously been dry up here the last couple of weeks, the last couple of days. Sorry, the forecast. I think as soon as they made the decision on Tuesday, they looked at the forecast and decided that it would be fine. Things would be good to go. So no, it certainly looks in a better nick than I thought it would do. Rangers got here just as I arrived earlier on. They've been out and they've had a look at it already. So no, fingers crossed it holds up. Also, until the game actually starts and the players get on it, then that's also when the true test comes. But from my vantage point up the back of the stand here, it certainly doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, let's get to a few of the comments that are coming in. James McGill with a point on Raskin. He says, nice to see Raskin back on the bench. God knows why Silva is still a starter. There's a few comments that, incidentally, just on Fabio Silva. AG says Silva has been poor out wide. Yeah, it ties in with what we're saying. We need a big performance from him. He has flattened to the scene for me at point. Good to see the volume getting belted up as well at Dens. Good stuff. And as we touched on there, Kemar Roof, huge night for him. Let's hope that he can last the pace and doesn't pick up any injuries. Of course, last time he started, Chris, what was it? If I'm not mistaken, the game at Ibrox, wasn't it? He came off after half an hour, 20 minutes or something like that. He got hauled off. I can't remember who it was against. Of course, the manager trusted him to start tonight.
I think it was St Johnstone. Was it the night that there's a bad tackle on John Lundstrom just after the cup final? So no, it's definitely a big call from the manager. I know Josh had a piece on the site a couple of weeks ago looking at Kemar Roof and how he was going to be a finisher rather than a starter. I think we both agreed it was hard to see Roof actually starting games for Rangers ever again. Just because we couldn't, you just can't guarantee that he gets through the minutes. But it's a big call from the manager. Hopefully it's repaid. Because I think we all know that Roof on his day can be a very, very effective player for Rangers. It's just how often those days actually come around. So hopefully this is one this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. That team again, folks. Butland in goal, Tavernier, Goldson, Suter, Sterling at the back, Lawrence and Lundstrom, the midfield pair with Cantwell in front of those two, Silva on one side, Seema on the right, Kamar Roof leading the line for Rangers this evening. On the bench, McCrory, Dessers, Matondo, Dowell, Davis comes back in, Barisic, King, Raskin, and McCausland. That is how Rangers line up this evening. I'll give you the Dundee side as well while we're at it. So Dundee will be lining up with McCracken in goal, Dodson, Shaughnessy, McGee, Tiffany, Bakayoko, Cameron, Lamy, McCowan, Boateng, and Silla. So that is the team that Rangers will be facing tonight at Dens Park. Of course, Chris is there for us. Joshua will be on with my good self at full time, where hopefully we're reporting on a Rangers victory. They need to win. It is must win, as are all the games between now and the end of the season if Rangers are serious about winning the league title. We need a big improvement on what was served up at the weekend. Let's hope we get it tonight. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled on the Rangers Review socials and obviously on YouTube as well later on, folks, when we'll see you on the other side. Huge thanks to Chris and to you all for tuning in as ever, and we'll speak to you a little later on. Bye for now.